My name is Vitalik.
Hello, my name is Oleh.
And we are creators and founders of the Project Zepplin. And we can take a short take through this project and introduce you to it. So now we are going to share our screen with slides. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt us and ask whatever you want. So let's start. Do you see our slides now? No, okay.
Maybe another app.
Try to open Google Drive app.
Oh, you're presenting to everyone. Yeah, it's working.
What about now?
No.
One moment.
Can you share your screen?
We are trying to do that.
Try to open Google Drive app. Maybe you will then see our screen.
Google has encountered a server error.
Okay, I know how we can solve this problem. I'll join Hangout in a minute, and I'll just share my screen. So where is the link? So what about now?
Excellent.
Great. So, Project Zepplin. What is this and why it's so interesting for us? We started this project because we wanted to create some tool to make GG's life easier, and we want to simplify life during creating a site for your DevFest. Main features that this project should have was it should be very easy to stop. It should have simple and responsive design. It should have integrated speakers and session management. We tried to use as many new technologies available as possible, so all images preferably should be in vector. And also this site should be easy to find by search engines, so it should be server-friendly. Short prehistory. First version of our template we started 1 year ago during DevFest 2013. We published it also as a part of GGX, but because it has some drawbacks, it wasn't so successful. But it still had some features. It was responsive, it was hosted on Google Open Engine, but it was very hard to set up because it used a lot of technologies, a lot of enterprise technologies. You have to have a lot of enterprise background to set up the site and so on. And also it was hard to make changes as we didn't use any templating engine for it. And it was a terrible fault. So we scheduled a meeting for our team with some beer and friendly talking, and decided to create something more useful and more easy to set up. After this meeting, we stated that our next project should be written in one language. It should be also responsive. It should look really great, because GG is awesome, and all our products should be awesome. It shouldn't be plain HTML, because templating is that feature that will simplify our life. And it should use only very simple technologies that pretty all developers are familiar with. So no Python, no Django, no complex backend servers that we used on previous version of our template. So the work started. We started this project and investigation of technologies in the middle of May. On June 15, we committed our first part of code, and in 2 weeks we managed to deliver first demo version, which was presented on Google Developer Summit in Mountain View just before Google I/O. And on this summit, we promised that till the end of July we will launch first version of sites that will have basic features. And it happened. On July 28, we announced Project Zepplin that became part of GGX project, and Oleh will talk about technical part of this project.
Hello. Why we use a static website? Why it so cool? As we see at this picture, when user send request, you will load only some plain HTML images and videos if it has. So it direct to user delivering. Other side, dynamic website, use like WordPress. It use templates that do requests to database and do on the fly pages for you and then send to you. But you can change it with VPS Super Cache that will do the same thing. It will cache for you static sites, so you don't need now for WordPress. So for our point of view, it's all good if you use only static pages. You can, for example, generate it on your laptop and then send it to the FTP of your server, or use some online generator. For us, it does GitHub. So for Jekyll. What's Jekyll? Jekyll is simple block-aware static site generator. It don't has some databases, no comment moderation or updates to install, only Jekyll. Also, it manage for us permalinks, categories, pages, posts, and so on. What does actually Jekyll do? Jekyll is a local computer written on Ruby, and what you should do, only run command Jekyll serve, and magic stuff will do. It will parse text files, markdown for you, compute categories, text permalinks, and construct your pages from layouts and partials to static websites. And we'll store this all in a site folder. Why we should care? Why it's so easy? You can write your pages with Markdown or a TextLite in your favorite text editor, for example, Sublime. You have ability to serve your website on static web service. It's basically free to host, or it also have a very good performance. Also, you can serve your pages on GitHub, and you don't need another databases like MySQL or another. So, How we can set up it to run? When you run a command to construct the basic structure for you, it will look like that. In config YAML, it stores basic configuration data. Then the SASS folder for your styles includes its folder for partial views. I will show you on a real example of Project Zepplin. In layouts, it's where you will put those partials on your pages. And in posts folder, you will write your own posts, but be aware that you must write in that syntax year, month, date, dash title, and markup which you use. As I said before, you can use markup or text or TextLite. After you run command Jekyll serve, it will generate a static website in your site folder. You can see that structure left, and if you want to view it in your browser, just write localhost 4000, and you will see your page. It should look like this. But what about our structure? It is a little more complicated, but don't be afraid. In the root, we have our pages. Blog, hackathon, index, logistics, scheduler, it's all pages. In assets folder, you can store your data. For example, we serve the call for papers PDF. Automation I have created for developers. It has but files for minifying images, minifying your styles and scripts. Also, we have the SASS folder, fonts folder, and images. And note that in images we have another folders that correspond to the every parts of project. For example, if you want to use part about, it has its folder, about section, where you can serve your images. And another favicons is for your browser, hackathon organizer, and other, if you can't categorize it. You can read more about it in Wikidocs in our project, where I describe how to use the pictures, how to change, and what you can do with it. So we have JS folders for scripts, data, and if you look a little bit right, you will see files with data about judges. It's for hackathon page, organizer and partners for partners part of your website, a scheduler, session speakers, and tip. Include the layout and posts we have discussed before, and start from the last update of Jekyll. You can use a SASS for your styles. It's a precompiler that will compile for you vanilla SASS. But I have used Compass because it can prefix your SASS files. So, if you look in index page in a root folder, you can see that it uses default layout in a layout folder, and after that we include parts that we want to use. You can freely delete some of them or use another if you want. They all are in includes folder. If you look on default layout, you can see that it's HTML file which use Liquid for generating, for including and generating your data. So in curve brackets content, we include that part that we define in index HTML. Then we have if else. It's use if you want to include, for example, another part. I use it in schedule and speaker space. So it's it should use pointers, so you can describe it and use. And after that, there include scripts, but it's I can show it here, no space. So let's go further. If it includes partners, here is we pass data from a config file. It's a base for titles like organizer partners, and one from for button and become a sponsor. I move that text from parts to config file for more easier to users, and developers for GGs. So now you can translate it in your language if you want, change the text, and don't know how they will insert in your site. Then another data, if you want to pass the data from a data folder, you should include site.data.name of your file. In this example, I have used organizer YAML. It will show on the bottom. And how we bind the data to our site. We use for each statement for your data, iterate it, and Jekyll will compile it to static website with your data. It's in this example, in H5 tag, we insert main organizer text, and later we have another for each statement which will paste another data from elements array. And we show with text that we can and you can set up your project of that site in 5 minutes. I can show you how to do it.
Let's switch cameras.
Okay. Do you see it?
Oh. Now we are on this camera.
Yeah. So it's site. It's a repository of our project.
Could you please show Oleh's screen instead of this one?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Let's go. So I will forward it to my repository. Just yeah, here it is. Then I will copy it to my computer. It will take some time. Sorry for that.
Yes, having 2 hangouts in one broadband connection is too much.
Yep.
full output. If you have any questions, that's the right time to ask, because it's completely successful. Okay.
Okay, here we will change our branch to GH Pages. Yeah, here it is. And open, for example, config file and change something. For example, we want to have in navigation only Z links. Also, I want to change dates of our event. For example, September 26th. Okay, great. And show another text season. Okay, let it be demo and GGGX. Great. And what's more? Okay, I think it's enough for this config file. Then I want to, not this, sorry. Yeah, I want to delete statistic and latest new parts. Okay, and we will push the changes to our repository. Yes. Commit. Yeah, it is. Yes. We change not GGX to our or name of your repository. Zasadnyy. Yep. Yep. And here it is. The first demo, the first Ukraine, and
the first GGX.
We deleted statistic and latest new parts. Yep, and it's run.
So set up in less than 5 minutes. That's possible. So now, if you have any questions, it's the right time to ask. So don't hesitate. You can ask in Hangouts or in event, I guess.
Thank you very much. Very cool. Nice demo and explanation. If I see any questions, maybe on the Google Glass event, yeah. Does Jekyll site sync from desktop to GitHub? Uses Git sync? That's a question.
We use source tree for repository if you ask that. Yeah?
Well, yeah, how to sync?
Okay, I'll explain it, okay?
Okay.
So,
yeah,
the easiest way to share pages is GitHub Pages. It's hosting from GitHub for static websites. Initially, it was introduced for hosting documentation for your open source projects, but it perfectly suits for our needs. And how does it work? If you push some content to just Pages branch, it will be served as a site, and everything that is in this page is served through GitHub Content Delivery Network. So we get advantages of GitHub CDN, and also if you push something to just Pages branch, it got compiled by Jekyll compiler, as GitHub supports it from the root. It's like all GitHub documentation is generated using Jekyll. So we got support out of the box. So if we need to change something, we just change this in our local just Pages branch, commit it, push to origin branch, and that's it. We are online with our changes.
Cool.
Hey guys, Tom from GDG Silicon Valley. This is really cool. Thank you guys for doing this. We are going to be using this. I've been working on it a few days already. So as we sort of work on this, is there like a discussion group or someplace we can post questions, like specific technical issues we might run into? Like a chat.
You can ask directly me. I will show my contacts. There it is.
I would recommend to do most. Sorry, I would recommend to do most of the communication in GitHub. So
Yeah.
maybe open an issue, and then everyone can see and also see the response, and maybe help.
Yeah, sure. For now, our main point communication channel is GitHub issues.
Okay.
So if you have any question, you can ask there, and probably that's the most convenient way.
Yeah, because I can imagine a lot of people run into the same issues, and so it'd be nice to have a record that everyone could read.
Yeah, we will share our slides in our event.
And probably we'll include it in Zeppelin documentation.
Yep, for sure.
I have a question about the development. If you develop locally, you need Jekyll installed. Is it easy to install? Do you need also the Compass to be installed, or can you develop without it?
You can develop without it if you don't want to change your styles. Because if you use only some parts, it makes sense to install Compass and include only that parts that you want. And so you will get smaller SASS files, and your website will load faster.
Yeah, I found Jekyll's pretty easy to use, but on a Mac you do need to install some command line developer tools, and there's instructions on that available on the Jekyll site.
But on Mac it's much easier because Ruby is pre-installed. You just need to install Jekyll gem.
Yeah.
And it's as easy as running two commands in command line.
Yeah.
On Windows it's a bit harder, but it's possible.
Oh, I think it was gem actually that required an extra step on Mac.
Yeah. But if you're using Homebrew or something like this, it's very easy.
Okay, but if you want to join us and push your pull request, join us. We can discuss your ideas. Maybe
you need to create some additional content blocks.
Yeah, join us. It's a link to GitHub of Project Zepplin. Please also include your websites. We want to include to our README file to show another GGs that projects use. And I'm very happy that it already have more than 100 forks, and about 8, I don't remember how many stars, and I think it's cool. So join us, and if you have any questions, you can ask in Hangout, direct me, email me, or
simply open an issue on GitHub.
Yep.
Thank you very much for giving the presentation here live at the first GDGX town hall meeting. If you have any questions, you can post them on the Google Plus page, and also contact the developers directly, Oleh and Vitalik. Okay, that was it. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.